Terry Burgess is a Gold Star father who signed that letter. His son, Brian, was killed in combat at Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan in 2011. And Terry is joining us tonight. It is a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for giving us a moment of your time.
Thank you, Marnie. Thank you.
Why was it important for you and your wife, Beth, to sign this letter?
It was important for us because of the struggle that we had when we were first Gold Star parents. After we got our knock on the door, we struggled with how to deal with our grief. And part of that challenge motivated us to create our own 501c3, which is Gold Star Parents Retreat. And we help other parents deal with their loss. And some of the stories that we hear from the parents are just, they're horribly tragic, and they're still dealing with some of the issues that came about from that knock on the door.
Terry, in reading the letter and some of the critical support systems and processes that they want to highlight, these Gold Star families say catastrophic mistakes have occurred, leaked information, improperly identified remains, failures to file paperwork accurately on time. This is just some of what these Gold Star families say they have experienced. How common is this? And did you experience anything like this when you lost Brian?
Fortunately, we did not experience some of the horrors some of these families have had. We heard of one family, the remains of their soldier were mailed back to them. They received them in the mail at their front door because the DOD said we found another piece of him. And instead of sending it to the correct place, they sent it to their home. And that's just one of the horrible stories. There's some that still don't have answers. They're still searching, they're still looking, and they're still hurting.
Wow. There are no words for that type of pain, and in addition to what these families have lost. Terry, the one thing that stood out to me in this letter was it called for a stop to political finger pointing, and it called on Americans to be civil to Gold Star families. What does that civility look like to you?
That civility is going to be based on education of what a Gold Star family is and what they represent. My wife was in a store one time and she was wearing her Gold Star pin, and the lady asked her what it represented. And Beth told her, said, our son was killed in action in Afghanistan. And the teller at the store actually backed away from her. And it was like Beth was contagious. To a Gold Star family, that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for deep apologies and for casseroles every day. That's not what we're looking for. We just would like the country to understand what we are, what we went through, what some of these families are still going through, and what we can do for each other.
You're asking for compassion.
That would go a long ways.
What is the thing that you long to hear most when people ask about Brian?
That they absolutely will listen, that they will listen to the story, and then with a heartfelt handshake or a hug, say, I am so sorry for your sacrifice, and we appreciate it.
How do you remember him now?
That is a very complicated answer. It depends on the day and the time and the hour. I'll remember him as my little boy sitting beside me in a fishing hole. And then I'll remember him driving my old hot rod and me having to tell him, please slow down. And then I'll remember him as he was determined to go to war. When he told me, he said, Dad, I'm going to fight back. 9/11 cost us, I don't know their names, but I'm going to fight for them. So the memories come with different holidays, with different smells, with different music. And I remember him mainly as my son who was willing to give everything he had for his country that he loved.
Terry, I am sorry for your loss. And I'm thinking about you and your family and all of the Gold Star families out there who are suffering tonight. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing a piece of Brian with us. And I hope that things improve for so
Thank
many
you,
who are
Marla.
dealing with this pain. Terry, thank you. My best to Beth as
Thank
well.
you.